Forget the badges, forget the brochures. Horsepower doesn't lie, and Ford's history books are stuffed with cars built to prove exactly that. From homologation specials nobody remembers to a factory Mustang that broke 200 miles an hour, this is Ford's speed record, told through 10 machines that actually earned it. This one wasn't built to be fast in a straight line. It was built to embarrass Chevrolet on a road course, and it did exactly that. Ford needed 1,000 street-legal units to homologate the small block for SCCA, Trans Am racing. So engineers dropped a high-revving, solid lifter 302 cubic inch V8 into a stiffened chassis and called it a day. Officially rated at 290 horsepower, a number nobody believed then and nobody believes now. It got to 60 in under 7 seconds, which undersells how it actually drove. The direct rival was the Camaro Z/28, and the two traded paint for 2 straight seasons. Ford won the 70 Trans Am title with this car's successor, cementing the Boss 302 as the Mustang built by racers for racers. Today, it's one of the most collected Mustangs ever made. Proof that lap times age better than spec sheets. Nobody buys a Torino Talladega for the styling, and that's the point. Ford stretched the nose 5 inches and tucked the front bumper flush just to cut wind resistance at 190 miles per hour on NASCAR superspeedways, wrapping the whole thing around a 428 Cobra Jet V8 rated at 335 horsepower. About 754 were built purely to satisfy homologation rules, sold to regular customers who had no idea they were driving a stock car in disguise. Its real rival wasn't on the street. It was the Dodge Charger Daytona and Plymouth Superbird, and the Aero war between them defined a whole NASCAR era. David Pearson took the Talladega to a championship season in 1969. The public forgot it almost immediately. Collectors never did. Ford needed to homologate a new 429 cubic inch engine for NASCAR, and the Mustang was, frankly, the wrong car for the job. The engine barely fit. Officially rated at 375 horsepower, period road tests clocked 0-60 in 7.1 seconds and a 14.09 second quarter mile. Numbers most insiders insist were sandbagged by at least 100 horses for insurance purposes. Only 1,359 were built across 2 model years, making it one of the rarest factory Mustangs ever sold. Its real competition wasn't the Camaro. It was the Mopar Hemi cars it was engineered to outgun on NASCAR ovals. The Boss 9 never actually raced in a Mustang body, ironically, but that hasn't stopped it from becoming one of the most valuable muscle cars at auction today. Rarity plus mystery is a hell of a combination. The Mach 1 was Ford's answer to a simple question. What if a muscle car didn't feel like punishment to drive every day? Wrapped in hood scoops, reflective side stripes, and a standard 428 Cobra Jet good for a factory-rated 335 horsepower, it ran the quarter mile in the low 14s while still offering comfort options the Boss cars skipped entirely. It went head-to-head with the Chevrolet Camaro SS 396 and the Plymouth Roadrunner, and outsold both of them combined in some years. That's the real legacy here. The Mach 1 wasn't the fastest or the rarest Mustang of 1969, but it was the one people actually bought, making it the best-selling performance Mustang of its era by a wide margin. Sometimes the most important car in the lineup isn't the halo car. Every GT500 that came after this one is chasing a legend Carroll Shelby created almost by accident. He'd run out of ways to make the small block Shelby Mustang faster, so he went the other direction entirely, stuffing a 428 cubic inch Police Interceptor V8 rated at 355 horsepower under the hood of what was essentially a street-legal Cobra. It ran 0-60 in 6.5 seconds and the quarter mile in 15.0 at 95 miles per hour, numbers that made Corvette owners nervous in 1967. Its natural rival was the 427 Corvette, and for the first time a Mustang could genuinely trade blows with it. The GT500 nameplate would disappear and resurrect itself over 5 different decades, but every single revival owes its existence to this one car getting it right first. This is the car Ford didn't really want you driving on public roads. It just had to, because NHRA rules demanded a street-legal version to race superstock. Engineers crammed a 427 cubic inch FEV8 with dual 4-barrel carburetors into a Fairlane shell stripped of sound deadening, insulation, even the heater, then swapped in fiberglass body panels and plexiglass windows to shed every possible pound. Officially rated at 425 horsepower, insiders and period dyno polls suggest the real number was closer to 500 or even 600. Only 100 were ever built. Against Mopar's Max Wedge and early Hemi cars, the Thunderbolt ran quarter-mile times as low as 11.6 seconds at 124 miles per hour, numbers that would embarrass plenty of modern cars. This wasn't a muscle car. This was Ford's factory drag racer wearing a license plate. By 2000, Ford decided the Mustang needed to stop pretending it wasn't a race car, so SVT built one that barely bothered pretending at all. No radio, no air conditioning, no backseat compromises, just a 5.4-liter DOHC V8 pumping out 385 horsepower. It hit 60 in roughly 4.5 seconds, ran the quarter mile in the 12s, and topped out at 170 miles per hour, numbers backed up by a front splitter and rear wing doing real aerodynamic work, not just decoration. At $54,995, Ford was daring buyers to cross-shop it against the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, and plenty did. Only 300 were built. Every one sold almost immediately. It was the fastest factory Mustang Ford had ever produced at the time, and today it's a six-figure collector car that proves stripping things out can be its own kind of luxury. After nearly 3 decades of silence, Ford brought the GT500 name back from the dead, and it did not come back apologizing. A supercharged 5.4-liter V8 delivered 500 horsepower to the rear wheels, making it instantly the most powerful production Mustang Ford had ever sold at the time. There wasn't a direct factory rival waiting. The Camaro was still years from returning, so this GT500 basically had the modern muscle car segment to itself, going toe-to-toe with whatever Detroit could throw at it. What mattered wasn't who it beat on paper. It was that Ford proved the GT500 name still meant something, and that decision kicked off a horsepower arms race that wouldn't slow down for the next 15 years. This is where things stopped being sensible. Ford stuffed a supercharged 5.8-liter V8 into the GT500 and walked away with 662 horsepower and 631 pounds-ft of torque, officially making it the most powerful production V8 in the world at the time. It hit 60 in 3.5 seconds, ran the quarter mile in the 11s, and, this is the number that mattered, topped out at 202 miles per hour, straight off the factory floor. Its closest rival, the Camaro's YL1, brought 580 horsepower to the fight and simply couldn't keep up. This was also the last GT500 offered exclusively with a manual transmission, which only adds to its cult status now. Supercar money used to buy 200 miles per hour performance. In 2013, a Ford dealership did it for a fraction of the price. If the 2013 car broke the rules, this one burned the rulebook entirely. A supercharged 5.2-liter V8 puts down 760 horsepower and 625 pounds-ft of torque through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. No manual available, because a human foot couldn't shift fast enough to keep up with this engine. It hits 60 in 3.3 seconds, clears the quarter mile in 10.7, and is electronically capped at 180 miles per hour purely to protect the tires, with independent testing showing it'll clear 200 miles per hour if you let it. Its fiercest rival, the Dodge Challenger Hellcat Red-Eye, actually outguns it on paper with 797 horsepower, and still can't touch its acceleration numbers. This is the most powerful street-legal production Ford ever built, full stop. Everything on this list, every homologation special and drag strip legend, was building toward this exact moment.